INS Kalvari has been commissioned into the Indian Navy. It's now INS, it's the latest submarine of a diesel-electric type to be commissioned into the Indian Navy. The first one to be built in India in nearly 2 decades. The Prime Minister now walking towards the submarine. It's a very lengthy sort of address by the Prime Minister. A lot of people hadn't really expected this, speaking about, among other things, the importance of the Indian Ocean region, the importance of peace in the air in the region, the importance of trade flowing through the Indian Ocean. Now, this has been something the Indian Navy has been speaking about for a very long time and has directly linked its requirement for more assets in the Indian Ocean region to trade, and the importance of this being as one of the world's most important, if not the most important, trade route. So the acquisition of this submarine actually enhances the capability of the Indian Navy greatly. That's because, as I mentioned, it's been almost 2 decades since India built a conventional submarine at home, and that was a dying art. It had been lost. The ability to actually build submarines at home of the diesel electric type had been lost. Of course, there is a parallel track going on. Nobody wants to talk really about that. That's nuclear submarines. Those are being constructed at least partially, they're being assembled in Visakhapatnam. There is already INS Arihant, which is a nuclear ballistic missile submarine, and it now appears that India will certainly be inducting more of that class. A second one of that class has also been inducted, and also nuclear attack submarines. But that's a parallel line. These are diesel-electric submarines. This is what India has operated traditionally. The submarine arm has been there for 50 years in the country. INS Kalvari was in fact the first submarine to be acquired by India from Russia way back in 1967. This is the second submarine bearing that name, as I believe the Prime Minister will now walk towards the INS Kalvari. It's a French design. It is a French design. It's among the most silent submarines in the world. It can fire anti-ship missiles and torpedoes as well. The manufacture of the submarine has not been easy at all. It's taken a long time, almost a decade, for the construction to be complete in India, the transfer of technology, the training of personnel at Mazgaon docks to be constructing this. It was part of a $3 billion deal. 5 more submarines of this class are also being constructed at the Mazgaon docks. These submarines will eventually be further upgraded to ensure that they are able to operate underwater for even more extended periods of time. But it's also been a controversial project. Technical details, sensitive details of this class of submarine were leaked and were then reported by an Australian journal, which made headlines prompting a probe in France. And apparently it was industrial espionage which had resulted in some of the sensitive details of India's Scorpene-Class submarines being leaked to the media. But by then it was too late for India to do anything. Not that there was ever any plan of scrapping the deal. We were too far down the road. Construction of the first submarine had been over by that stage. And so the Indian Navy has assessed the nature of that leak, and they've said that it's something that they will be able to overcome.
A huge round of applause for INS Kalvari and all the men and women who have made this moment possible.